Also with us this morning is Craig Fugate, who's administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. Good to have you with us this morning, sir.
Good morning.
We've heard these reports of extensive damage in the Bahamas. We see the intensity of the storm growing, and frankly, the outlook, especially as Michelle just painted, it's a pretty scary picture. The Northeast hasn't seen a storm of this magnitude in decades. How concerned are you about the preparedness of folks here?
Well, again, this really comes back to we're not going to be able to prevent all the damages, but we can minimize the impacts to or risk of loss of life, and that's why people need to be prepared now, know what you're going to do, and heed evacuation orders from your local officials. You don't want to wait till it's too late, because as has been pointed out, there's a lot of areas that may be at risk, a lot of people that may have to make decisions. You don't want to wait to the last minute. Be ready to go and heed the advice of your local officials.
So in terms of being ready, that involves not only having a preparedness kit, sort of an emergency kit. We did a little bit on that yesterday, and we have that information on our website, but also having a plan. Where do people need to be prepared to go, and for how long?
Yeah, this is going to be case by case, community by community. This is why the first thing you need to find out, if you haven't already, do you live in an evacuation zone? And if you do, who's going to give the recommendation or order to evacuate, and where do you need to go, how far you need to go? And you need that information now, because when you evacuate, you want to know where you're going and make sure you have somewhere to go, not just get on the road with everybody else and hope you can find someplace. That's why it's important now to take those steps.
Yeah, and have those items that you need in your car, to have a full tank of gas. When people are looking for those updates, where's the best place to get them? Is it a place like, say, Twitter these days?
Well, Twitter's got a lot of information out there, but again, the best place to get information about your local evacuations and protective measures is going to be your local radio and TV stations. They're going to be carrying press conferences from local officials. That's going to be your best source for where the information is coming from about what's going on in your community. Twitter and other things are good ways to share information, but the official information, generally, local officials are going to be talking through radio and television to tell you what you need to do.
Local governments, local authorities are obviously key in this situation. In terms of the food chain where you would come in to help with things, you're a little further down the line after local and state weigh in. But how much are you coordinating with those folks now, because they may not have dealt with a disaster of this magnitude in such a long time?
Well, we've been talking, our regional offices have been working with their counterparts at the state now for several days. And again, we started down in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and we're all the way up to the Northeast and the New England states. So there's been a lot of communication. We also deploy our teams in. Folks have already gone into North Carolina to stand by to support. We have people that are moving in, ready to deploy in the mid-Atlantic states. And again, it really is tied to the governor's team as they get ready. We go in and work with them as they get ready to support the locals with the evacuations.
FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate, thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you.